Welcome to the Military Money Manual podcast, where every episode is all about achieving financial independence in the military faster than before. We believe personal finance shouldn't be boring or intimidating. Building wealth can be simple, and financial freedom is the ultimate financial goal. Now, here's your hosts, Spencer and Jamie.
Welcome to another question and answer episode of the Military Money Manual podcast. I'm Jamie, and I'm here with Spencer Reese. Hey, Spencer.
Hey, Jamie.
The founder of militarymoneymanual.com and author of the book, The Military Money Manual. Today, we have a question that came in from Will via email. And Will wants to know, will they stop waiving the annual fee on credit cards once I get out of the military?
That's a great question. I get that one a lot. If you Google credit card annual fee waivers after the military, militarymoneymanual.com should pop up as the first or second result. And I walk through basically all the issuers that waive annual fees for military service members and spouses under the Military Lending Act, or MLA. And I explain what happens to those cards, to those accounts after you get out of the military. So for the big ones, Chase and American Express, they actually take two different strategies. On Chase, our recent data points are that when you separate or leave the military, retire, within 3 months of the data point that we got was within 3 months of this guy's retirement, he got a letter from Chase saying, we show that you're no longer on active duty. If you still are, provide us some evidence. You could send them in orders, or if you're like in the reserves and you're reactivated. And the letter from Chase said, we're going to start charging the annual fee within 24 months, basically. Your fee waiver will expire in 24 months.
So it came pretty quick, but you have some buffer period to decide what to do with the card. If you want to keep it, downgrade, whatever you want to do, you got 24 months to figure it out, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, they're going to charge the annual fee right away. And even if they did, if it's a Chase Sapphire Reserve card, you've been getting a lot of benefits from that card. And if the credit card company is going to charge you straight away, then ouch, but it's okay. Or you should have enough of an emergency fund, right, to cover it. But the good news is they don't. They warn you, and you're going to have 2 months.
And usually you have 30 days after the annual fee is charged.
That's true.
To close it. So if you saw the fee was charged and you didn't want to keep the card, then just call them up and say, hey, I just saw the annual fee. I'd like to close the card. I'd like to downgrade or whatever. But a lot of times, like you said, before we move on to Amex, a lot of times there's an assumption that the day I leave active duty or retire, I'm going to get hit with thousands of dollars of bills or a $700 bill. Right. And it's not really like that.
No.
So what about Amex?
So American Express this is interesting. And then I'm a little reluctant to talk about it. So everybody listening to the podcast, keep it on the down low.
Don't panic. Should we just leave it there?
Apparently. Yeah, exactly. Don't just relax with American Express. Apparently, they don't check the MLA database that often.
Why are you whispering?
And they continue to waive your annual fees. So I know a lot of guys who have been out of active duty service for 5-10 years, and American Express just keeps waiving the annual fees for veterans. So that should be a great motivator, that if you are ever interested in travel hacking, get the cards while you're on active duty, even if you're not maximizing the full benefits and you're going to focus on traveling or staying at these luxe hotels and using your free annual nights after you separate from active duty or after you retire. But open up the accounts at least while you're on active duty, especially for American Express, because they're going to keep waiving those annual fees after you leave the service.
Yeah. Like we said before, this could change any day. The whole Amex MLA thing could go away any day, but that's the current model. Basically, again, to summarize, don't panic with either of them. It's not going to be a big bill the day you separate. That would really suck if, like, in the middle of your retirement ceremony, it's like, here's your bill. But it's not like that. What about other banks? Any other?
Don't really have a lot of good data points. I think on Citi, the most recent thing that I've heard is it's kind of like Chase, where they're like, hey, you're not an MLA anymore. You're not eligible for MLA anymore.
If you can get into Citi's system in the first place.
You've had your own frustrations with that.
I actually, just today, I put a donation on my Citi Premier card because my 1-year anniversary of getting charged the annual fee erroneously is coming up this month. So I'm going to let the statement close with the charge on there and report back to you guys and see if Citi is back in my good graces or not.
Did you set up auto pay so you don't forget to pay it?
All of them. Thanks to you, actually, Spencer. Thanks. Yes. Auto pay is there.
Great. Yeah. I mean, that's again, Will, great question. This is a question I get frequently. And some people are always like, oh, you have 35 cards open. You're going to get hit with like $15,000 in annual fees when you get out. And or your credit score is going to plummet when you close all those accounts. And it's like, well, if you're getting value from the cards, like I'm going to keep a Chase Sapphire Reserve card open the rest of my life, probably.
Yeah.
It's a great card. And the other thing to remember about all of this, especially if you're into the travel hacking game, people make this work without the annual fee waivers.
Yes, there's a whole community of non-military travel hackers.
There's this website, abbreviated TPG, where they make millions of dollars a year teaching people how to travel hack and recommending the best cards.
It's like the website that shall not be named, like Voldemort.
The Voldemort website. That's true. Yeah. So long story long, Will, again, thanks for the great question, but don't relax. It's okay. It's like so many things in life, just having a little bit of information, just knowing that you're going to get that you're a grace period with Chase and that Amex doesn't check very often. And, maybe you don't have to, maybe that's on them to check. You don't have to let them know they left active duty. There's plenty of databases out there. There's the SCRA, Service Medal Civil Relief Act database, and the MLA, the Military Lending Act database. And you can just go check those. And the credit card companies check them frequently, and that's how they know whether you're on active duty or not. So, and the same thing that happens applies to military spouses as well. So, Chase is going to be a little bit more strict, and Amex is going to be a little bit more lenient. And those are the two big players out there. Yeah. One more data point that I'll offer, and maybe I'll have to update this shortly, is I left active duty in June, and it is now September, and I haven't gotten a letter yet. So. Let's see.
If you get it by the end of the month, 3-month window.
Yep. See if the end of September, end of October, if I get a letter.
Quick side note: if you're separating from active duty and joining the Guard or Reserves, anytime you get those 31 day or longer orders, you can resubmit. We talked about that with Rob Shea a lot back in a previous episode, who is a Coast Guard reservist. So go back and listen to that episode if you didn't get that one. That was one of our longer ones with the hour and a half. So you may not have gotten to the point where we talked about that, but he comes at the travel hacking game from a reservist perspective, as well as a military spouse. His wife is on active duty. So he's got a unique angle there. But if you get those long-term orders for Guard or Reserve, then you're eligible for the waiver as well. And some of the data points from reservists and part-timers is that if they get it once, they're usually good for a year, couple years. Yeah. So again, you don't have to worry about it as much as you think you do probably.
Yep. And that was episode number 50, where we talked about Rob Shea. Will, thanks again for the question. As always, listeners, if you have any questions, we love getting them. And we love this new Q&A format that we're trying, a little bit shorter episodes.
Let us know what you think. If you like it, like the short ones.
Yeah, you can reach us info@militarymoneymanual.com. Also on Twitter now, Military Money Man, I think.
Mil Money Manual.
Mil Money Manual. Thank you, Jamie. Okay, @Mil Money Manual on Twitter, and then Military Money Manual on Instagram. If you're getting value out of the podcast, share it with a friend, family member, especially if they're in the military. Share it with your spouse, and leave us a review on Spotify or Apple. We really appreciate it, and it helps get the word out about all the military benefits that are out there. And people just don't know about them. They don't know how to maximize them.
And it means a lot to us. We appreciate it too. It's like a little pat on the back.
We do, yeah. I'd be lying if we didn't check our Spotify reviews every week or so. It's kind of a nice little thing. So thank you all for those of you who have left reviews.
Thank you, Spencer's dad, for the nice note on Apple too.
Yes. One of our biggest fans for sure.
Yeah.
We'll catch you in the next episode of the Military Money Manual podcast.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of the Military Money Manual podcast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. This helps others find the show, and we really appreciate it. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Hey guys and gals, Spencer here again. Before I let you go, I want to let you know about two things. First, my 100% free course. It's called the Ultimate Military Credit Cards course, and you can sign up today at militarymoneymanual.com/UMC3. I've been running this course for over 4 years now, and we just celebrated our 7,000th graduate. In this course, I walk you through an absolute beginner's guide to travel hacking and opening your first fee-waived credit cards in the military. Again, you can sign up today at militarymoneymanual.com/UMC3. It's 100% free, no spam, and you can unsubscribe at any time. Second, My book, The Military Money Manual, A Practical Guide to Financial Freedom, is available on my website and Amazon today. Head over to shop.militarymoneymanual.com, or if you want the Amazon version, search Military Money Manual. This is the book I wish someone had handed me on my first day in the military. In this book, I cover the exact money tactics and investment strategies I used on my path to achieve financial independence while I served in the U.S. Air Force. The book is the best personal finance book specifically for you, whether you're an active duty, guard, reserve, a military spouse, enlisted, or officer. Any ROTC or Academy cadet can benefit from the tactical and strategic advice I lay out in the book. But don't just take my word for it. Here's 2 reviews of the book. Ryan on Goodreads.com wrote, "The most comprehensive investing personal finance book specifically written for military members I've read so far. This book should be handed to every new LT at commissioning." Matt on Amazon said, "This book is incredibly straightforward, easy to understand, practical, and useful. This book should be on the Commandant's reading list." Thanks, Matt. If you're interested in the book, head over to my website, shop.militarymoneymanual.com, and podcast listeners can use promo code PODCAST to get a special discount on the ebook, audiobook, and hardcover book. You can find the audiobook on Audible, the ebook on Amazon Kindle, and the hardcover book on Amazon, or again, head over to my website and use promo code PODCAST for a special discount. Thanks for listening.